Okay, so meditation. It's everywhere these days, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like everyone's talking about what's the big deal. Can a few minutes a day actually make a difference?
Right. It's almost like a buzzword now. Meditation.
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we're breaking it all down. Think of it like your beginner's guide, Meditation 101.
Yeah, like that stack of articles and podcasts you've been meaning to get to, all boiled down to the good stuff.
Your own personal meditation starter kit.
And it all starts with what actually is meditation?
Because I think when a lot of people hear meditation, they picture like emptying your mind completely.
Yeah, like you're sitting there trying to have zero thoughts, which honestly sounds kind of impossible.
Right, like some kind of Zen master on a mountaintop.
Exactly. But that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. Meditation isn't about stopping your thoughts. It's more about changing how you relate to them.
Okay, I like that. So how would you explain that difference, that shift in how we relate to our thoughts?
Think of it this way. Your mind is like a busy city street, right? Horns honking, traffic everywhere. Meditation is like stepping onto a quiet side street. The traffic's still there in the background, but you're choosing to focus on something else, something calmer.
That's a great analogy. So it's not about forcing this like unnatural silence in our minds.
Right, because that never works. It's more about where are you choosing to put your attention, and like learning any new skill, you start with the basics. There are tons of meditation styles out there, but you don't have to learn them all at once.
That's a relief. I think a lot of people might get overwhelmed, like, I could never do that. I'm not flexible enough. And I mean that both physically and mentally.
I hear that. And that brings up another myth we got to debunk. You don't have to be super flexible or some kind of Zen master to meditate. It's for everyone.
So no pretzel poses required.
Definitely not. It's about creating space for yourself wherever you are to just be present.
Okay, love that. So let's get practical. If someone's thinking, all right, I want to try this whole meditation thing, where do they even start? Do they need a dedicated meditation room, like with waterfalls and incense?
Well, while a dedicated space can be nice, it's not a requirement at all, especially when you're first starting out.
So it's more about the mindset than the setting.
Exactly. Any quiet corner will do. Your living room, bedroom, heck, even a park bench if that works for you. Just find a place where you feel comfortable and can minimize distractions as much as possible.
Got it. No plane ticket to Tibet required. But let's say we found our little slice of peace. What's next? Does posture matter?
It does. Good posture helps you breathe better, and your breath is kind of key here. But again, we're not talking about anything complicated. You don't have to sit in lotus pose or anything.
So no Cirque du Soleil contortions necessary.
Nope. Sitting upright in a chair with your feet flat on the floor works great. You just want to find that balance between being alert and at ease.
Got it. So we've got our quiet corner. We're sitting up straight but comfortably. What else do we need before we jump into like actual meditation techniques?
Well, there's one more element we got to bring in, and it's something you're already doing. Breathing.
Breath work. Everybody's talking about breath work these days. What makes it so important for meditation specifically?
Your breath, it's like this anchor to the present moment. It's always there. And with meditation, we're not trying to force our breath into some unnatural pattern or anything. It's more about simply observing it.
Observing our breath. It's like we're suddenly paying attention to something our body just does automatically without us even thinking about it.
Yeah. And you can actually focus on different aspects of it too.
Like what are some things we could, I don't know, notice or pay attention to?
Well, like you can notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. Or how about that subtle expansion of your belly when you inhale? You could even focus on the feeling of the air, like the coolness of it as it enters your nostrils.
It's like a whole sensory experience we normally just tune out, huh?
Right. But when you bring your attention to it, that's when things start to shift. Now, your mind might wander while you're doing this. Actually, it probably will.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. Especially when you're just starting out.
Yeah.
Like how do you deal with that when your mind inevitably wanders off?
Well, that's where your breath comes in. Remember, it's your anchor. So instead of getting frustrated when your mind wanders, which happens to everyone, you just gently bring your attention back to your breath.
Okay, but what if it's like really insistent? My mind, I mean.
That's okay. Think of it like training a puppy. You know, you wouldn't get upset with a puppy for getting distracted, right?
No, probably not.
You just gently redirect its attention. It's the same with your mind. Just gently guide it back to your breath without judgment, no beating yourself up about it.
So it's more about cultivating awareness, not like forcing this perfect focus from day one.
You got it.
Yeah.
And like any skill worth mastering, consistency is key. You wouldn't like try to run a marathon by only running once a month, right?
Definitely not. Small, consistent steps, I guess, just like with meditation. But knowing that even a few minutes a day can make a difference, that feels way more doable than like an hour-long meditation retreat or something.
Exactly. And that's what the research shows too, that consistency actually trumps duration. Even just 5 minutes a day can have a big impact.
Minutes even I can manage.
Yeah.
So when's the best time to meditate then? Is there like an optimal time a day to do it?
Honestly, the best time is whatever time you'll actually stick with. It's gotta work for you. Some people like to start their day with it, maybe to set a calm and focused tone for whatever's ahead.
I could use some of that before I even open my email in the morning.
Right. Others prefer to meditate during their lunch break, kind of like a midday reset, or even in the evening to unwind before bed. Experiment and see what feels right for you.
Okay, so find your time, find your space, focus on your breath. But all this work, all this consistency, what's the payoff? What are some of the benefits people can actually expect to see from making meditation a regular practice?
Oh, there are so many. And they're well documented too. For one, meditation has been shown to actually reduce cortisol levels.
Cortisol, that's the stress hormone.
Exactly. So basically you start to feel calmer and less reactive, even in situations that used to really stress you out.
So it's not that the stressful stuff goes away, it's that we're better equipped to handle it.
Yeah. It's like, imagine facing a deadline at work. Instead of letting the stress take over, you take a few deep breaths using the techniques we've been talking about, and suddenly you feel a bit more grounded. You're still focused, you can still meet that deadline, but the stress doesn't have the same hold on you anymore.
It's like you're hitting the pause button on the stress cycle.
Yeah. And it goes beyond just stress, too. Meditation can also help you focus and concentrate better.
Wow, in this day and age, being able to focus better, that's almost like a superpower.
Right. Think about how often you're trying to concentrate on something and your mind just wanders off. That to-do list or that song you can't get out of your head or, checking social media for the 100th time. Oh, I know it well.
Meditation helps you train your mind to stay present, so you can be more engaged with, well, whatever you choose to focus on.
Like upgrading from dial-up to high-speed internet, but for your brain.
Exactly. And the benefits, they go beyond just like productivity and focus too. Meditation can also have a huge impact on your emotions.
Okay. In what way? How does that work?
When you take the time to really observe your thoughts and feelings, without judgment, you start to develop this deeper self-awareness.
Oh, interesting, because instead of just being caught up in our thoughts and emotions, we can actually start to see them more clearly.
Yeah, like you're hitting the pause button on that constant inner monologue. You actually get to know yourself a little better.
So it's not just about feeling calmer, it's about understanding ourselves better too.
Exactly. And when you understand your emotional patterns, you're less likely to just react automatically in those tough situations.
So we respond with more, wisdom and intention instead of just reacting on autopilot. Exactly. And remember, meditation, it's not about being perfect at it. It's a journey. Just show up consistently and, be kind to yourself, just like you would with a good friend.
That's such an important reminder. We can be so hard on ourselves, especially when we're trying something new.
For sure. So be patient. Celebrate all those little victories along the way. You're on this path towards a calmer, more present-y you.
I love that. So to recap for our listeners, if you're feeling inspired to try meditation, find a comfy, quiet spot. Doesn't have to be fancy. Get comfortable, sit up straight but not stiff, and just tune into your breath. It's as simple and as challenging as that.
And when your mind wanders, because it will, just gently guide it back. No judgment.
And do it again tomorrow and the next day, even if it's just for a few minutes. A few minutes is all it takes to start making a difference. The path to a calmer, more focused you is really just a breath away.
That's a great way to put it.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into meditation. We hope you feel inspired to give it a try. Until next time.